7 is 1/6. So it's a little less than 1 point. It's the difference between a 3 and a 4, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The Explore project, or the Create project, is 24% of your grade. So between the two of those is the difference between a 3 and a 5, 2 and a 4, et cetera, et cetera. It's quite a bit. So that's what we're focusing on next. Code.org is basically on the test. And you're pretty much done with that. The only two Code.org sessions we have left to go over are app creation, which I don't think I'm going to do. It's not part of the curriculum, it's just a programming option. And the other part is programming, which we're already doing. We're just doing it outside of the Code.org thing. I'm just teaching you directly what I know. I think it's more useful. So, we're well into the programming thing. We're pretty much beat Explore into the ground. We're getting to the end of the learning cycle, except for the programming thing.
Does the AP exam have like generic code on it that's not in a particular language?
We will look at that at some point in the future, and I need to start pulling things together for you guys to get a feel for what this is all about. I'll just let you all know that I ordered a set of study guides for you. They are considerably harder than the test, and still they're not that hard. Now I may be waiting till 4 days before the exam and going, yeah, let's just flip through these things. This can't be that hard. And of course, you know, all my non-confident students went, ah! And just like freaked out because I'm never going to pass this test. And you know,
Perfectly replicated.
what?
That was just awesome. I wish I had that on video.
It's all there, No, so what you will find out about these books is that they are a considerably amount harder than the material on the test. I gave it out on like a Tuesday and a Thursday, and they took a test on Monday, and they all came out of the test going like, wow, that study guide was so much harder than it needs to be. It's like a really good thing. So their confidence level went down to here, but when everything was over with, they're like, yeah, it worked out. It's fine. It's good. So, so we'll work through those, kind of like we work through the Barron's guides and that sort of thing. I'm not sure I'm going to do the whole Barron's guides.
For your A class?
Yeah. No. For us. I don't think I'm going to do the whole grading thing according to what I've treat it a little bit differently than that. All right, so we got a big picture of what's going on. Yeah, that's about it. So programming, here we are.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. My beginning programmers, show of thumbs. How do you feel about the whole object-oriented programming thing? That's not bad. I'll take that. Wait, am I missing something?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. Good. I think you'll be surprised to find out that your programming skills are much closer to 5 level than you think. Remember that the project that you're going to turn in is 24% of your AP score. But it comprises, there are several things that comprise that at this point, since we're sitting here talking and I'm in charge.
Oh, so the test is secure.
It's supposedly
I like the jokes. Jokes are fun.
All right.
How many times?
Y'all see this? These are scoring guidelines for the Create project. Okay. Create is basically the one where you have to write your own program and send it to them. Not run the program. They do not read your code. They look at a video that you created of your program running, hopefully that you narrate, telling them why it's, and they look at it and they go, wow, that's so cool, here's a 5. That's the idea. So you create a video screen capturing your program as it runs. These guys and girls are not going to know every programming language. I don't know every one of them. They don't know every one of them, and they're not expected to. There's a lot of people that are going to be Scratch and Snap. Snap, anyone? Anyway, so you know, there's all kinds of platforms that are going to be coming in, so these people are not going to be, they're not going to be reviewing them directly, they're going to be reviewing them indirectly. So part one of this indirect review is that you're going to have to write a video. So 4 criteria here, 20%, 20%, 30%. Criteria 1 is you have to develop a program with a purpose. One of the reasons that I think teaching you how to write video games will be so effective here is it's pretty easy to determine the purpose of Flappy Bird. Hey, there's some columns moving across the screen and a bird that's falling out of the sky. Wait a minute, I got to press the up key. It's pretty easy to comprehend right off the bat. So the purpose is written into the thing. Here's how they evaluate it. If the video demonstrates the running of at least one feature of a program that illustrates the program's intended purpose as described in the written response, you will get a high grade for that 30% of that 24%. Right? 7 out of the 8 possible total points. Yeah, 30% of 24% being about 8%. So, what was I going to go with this? Yeah, narration of the video is a pretty important thing. One of the things I'll be doing here over the next couple days is I will be installing Screencast-O-Matic. I think that's what we're using. Screencast-O-Matic on these computers, and we'll get to play around with it, and you'll get to make videos. I got headphones back there that you'll speak into. You'll narrate, etc., etc., etc. Make sense? Okay, so the easiest way for them to decide that it's easy to give you a 5 is to do a really good, concise narration, have a graphics project that's easy to comprehend what's going on. Narration really tells the function purpose of this particular project. That's good, right? Am I losing you? No? You're with? Glad. Okay, good. Glad. All right. All right, so part 2 of developing program with purpose. You'll get a high grade if your written response describes a difficulty that you ran into when you encountered, or 2 difficulties, or 2 opportunities, or an opportunity if necessary, at different points in the development of the program. And then goes on to describe how they were resolved, incorporated as part of a developmental process. In other words, you've got to write about a problem you ran into. Now, my last class, I had a sophomore, highly ambitious individual, who said, hey, I'm going to write checkers. Which seems really easy. They just make a grid and you put some dots on there and you click on them and move them, right? No, because the grid's like this hard. And putting the dots on it's like this hard. And then moving them is somewhere, you know, it's astronomically difficult to decide how to do. So that was a difficulty and an opportunity for him to write about. He didn't get it done, and I don't, you know, I'm not holding that against him. It was just that's a really hard thing to do. And until you've encountered that, you just don't know. You just don't know. So, describe a difficulty, describe how you resolved it, and, identify one point in the development program that was completed independently. I did this myself. So the independence thing brings up an interesting idea. You can group work these projects. If you want to buddy up and team up on a project, but you need to think real carefully about this before you decide to do them. In that project, 2 or more people are going to have to write up about a difficulty, a resolution, and something that was created independently. Creating something independently, you want to write about and you create it. Right? I mean, that's probably going to get you the best grade. The problem with doing a group effort is that only one person gets to write about that really cool thing. The other person gets to write about the kind of cool thing. Who wants to be the kinda? Who wants to go kinda? That's why, you know, the group work thing is great, but somebody's going to end up having to write, you know, use the less cool example. And I don't think that's what you want to be, and I don't think you need to. If you do your own independent work, oh much, you've got so much more time than this to work on it. If you do your own independent work, I think you'll be absolutely fine. Make sense so far? Okay, good. So, the last two details, which are 60% for, oops, wrong computer, 60% of your 24% of your AP score. Is one, one's about applying an algorithm, one's about applying abstraction. Algorithms. A lot of people are like, what the heck is an algorithm? Basically, an algorithm, for what you care about, is a chunk of code that gets something done. Right? Turns a stoplight from red to green. Code. That's what it does. All right, so an algorithm has to use, in best case scenario, has to use integrates the use of two or more sub-algorithms, subroutines, new algorithms, and incorporates mathematical or logical concepts to create a new algorithm. We'll get to that in a second already. The response identifies the algorithm in the program and describes how the algorithm achieves what it's supposed to do. Okay. Imagine for a second that you're writing, asteroids, and you shoot a laser at an asteroid. Let's see. It used a commonly used algorithm, like getRectangle, integrates a mathematical or logical construct, what is it? Concept, yeah, to create a new algorithm. If this object.getRectangle.intersects that object.getRectangle. Well, there's your logic using if, right? Two or new algorithms .getRectangle, writing that method, is a new algorithm. Use a couple of them from different objects, and suddenly you've met that criteria. That's cool. And the response identifies it. Well, literally, you're going to have to take your code, you submit all your code, but you select a particular section, and I think you rectline that chunk of code saying, this is where I created this algorithm that you're looking for step 3. And then write it up and explain how that works. And the response accurately describes how the two algorithms, Make sense? This is why I choose video games. They're really easy for you to conceive of what you should be making, visually, abstractly, and so on and so on and so on. So it's also really easy to implement techniques that will accomplish this. Which is why I say, if you're through honors programming, you pretty much got enough background to do quite well on this.
Rail in our project, is that something we can do?
Is it going to be what?
Is that something we can do?
Yeah.
Do we have to write like Mr. Phillips?
You have to cite the author.
Okay.
Yep.
Didn't we say John?
No,
Yeah,
somewhere on
yeah, I
Stack
was gonna say
Overton, you can turn off the camera now. Somewhere